author who's going to, her next book is going to be released on March 17th, Wounded Sisters. You're going to learn more about that. But we're going to learn about Mary as an author first. Mary, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. No, I've been writing as far back as I can remember, and I love writing, especially books for women who have gone through trials and things in their life, abuse. My first book was about that, but the second book I'm writing, it has a lot to do with things that I have gone through in my life. Each one of the characters in the book has just a little bit of me in them. It's a fiction, but it's based on true life experiences. And the reason I wanted to write this was not just to be writing. Not just for entertainment. It is also to bring women closer to God, understanding that no matter what's happened in their life, that He's there for them and He's there to forgive them and help them to forgive the people that have hurt them in the past.
No doubt. And I think that you're learning from this and the
I
learning
absolutely.
experience as a writer. So let's talk about the first book you wrote because we're going to talk about the other one more about it's coming out right on
Okay.
March 17th. But let's talk about first your first book that you published X amount of years ago. Why'd you
Okay,
write that?
that
Yeah.
all right. That was the book about a tele evangel. No, she wasn't a televangelist. She was an evangelist, and she lived in Florida. And she was wanting somebody to write her story. And I just happened to be there when she was talking about it, when she came to Mason to have a meeting with some of the people there, a church meeting. And she was started telling me her story, and I said, you know, this would be just great. And this story is true. It's what they call a creative nonfiction. The basis of the story are true events in her life and how back in the 50s, because she was a African American woman, and she went through a whole lot of heartache because of that in the 50s. But her story is about how she was physically abused by an uncle and how she overcame that. She was abused when she was 12 years old, and she even wound up getting pregnant. But the whole story is a book of overcoming, even something as horrible as that was. How she would take that message to other women. And she was just a really wonderful person to learn from. So that's what that book was basically about, was how she went from one place to the other place. And one of her favorite sayings, Neil, was that you don't have to stay stuck in your yesterday, that God is always there to lead you on and to take care of you and to love you through it. And that is one of her main messages when she goes and speaks to women's groups.
It's interesting that that kind of relates to Wounded Sisters later in a lot of
Yeah.
ways because it's one woman going through forgiving God, forgiving the person that has done a horrible wrong to them.
Right.
And this book, the first one that you wrote, is that based on you in a lot of ways?
No, it's based on her.
Oh, wow.
It's her story. It's her name is Peaches Evans, and she's from Florida, and she is a pastor now. But her childhood was pretty rough, especially back in the 50s when segregation was still segregation, and she had to overcome a whole lot of things on her journey to becoming a
Wow.
pastor. And she has ministered to, I don't even know how many people she has ministered to. But this book was her story, and it was just a portion of her story. It wasn't her entire story. It started when she was 12. And so,
Did you know her personally?
yes, I did. I sure did. She'd come to our church and have a message for us. Oh, yes, I met her. She's very prophetic also. She can tell
This
you
kind of inspired you in
it
so many
did.
ways.
It
Of
did.
what I'm going to do in life based on
Yes.
what she did. And
Yeah.
now, as an author, waiting years and years to finally say, okay, now I'm going to do this as a full time thing in my retirement. You say, you know what? I'm ready because
Yes.
you want to give this message to the world versus where she has the pastor in Florida. But you just learn from that. And a lot of times, You don't hear lots of people talk about forgiveness, do they? No, we
No,
don't hear that a lot.
no, that's one of the things that I really want to get across to people, Neil, is that no matter what has happened to us in our past, no matter how rough it is, you've got to let go of that. And sometimes, now I will say this, it was a hard book for me to write in the beginning, even though this book, Wounded Sisters, is a fiction. But it was hard to write because it was true life experiences. And sometimes you have to visit your own darkness to bring the healing light to other people. And that's basically what the story's about. And that's what I was trying to get across, that no matter what has happened to you in your life, God is in the business of forgiveness. And you're not just about forgiveness for others, but forgiveness for yourself, for the
Yes.
mistakes that you've made in your life, and forgiving others and forgiving yourself. And also, when you get mad at God, forgiving Him. I know that sounds kind of strange, but sometimes we get so mad at God, and I've been there, that you
Yeah.
got to say, God, I'm sorry, I forgive you. You were doing right and I was doing wrong.
For forgiving God is another part of it where we give up and we forget our whole goal, what we're put on this earth to do and to serve. And we give up on that and say, oh no, no, thank you. And then we miss out. We miss out on many things because of it, it sounds like.
That's right. I went through a time in my life 5 years ago where I got really, really mad at God.
Hmm.
And it was because my grandson was in a horrible accident and he went to be with the Lord.
Oh,
And it just devastated me and my husband because we helped raise him. And so I went to bed and I hated God. I told him I hated him. I wanted to die. And this was
right.
just 5 years ago while I was writing this book.
Oh my
And
goodness.
my faith was so shaken.
Oh
I
my
was,
goodness.
pardon?
I said, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I laid there in the bed. I didn't want to get up. I asked God to stop my heart. I wanted to die also. But then he spoke to me and he said, Mary, you have other grandchildren. You have your life yet. I'm not finished with you. Get out of the bed. And I did. And it took me close to 5 years. It'll be 5 years this May to finally realize that my grandson is safe in heaven. I will see him again. And God has been with me, and my faith has grown because of it. Because I know that I know that I know that I will
And
see
that
that boy again someday.
and we're not getting to Wounded Sisters. We're gonna get people excited because next week on the podcast, we're gonna go really dive deeper because we're getting close to March 17th. But it really kind of gave in this writing of this, it reminded you of your first book, didn't it? In so many ways that you ended up going like the pastor in your first book, Peaches. You were going in the same direction again, even though you never thought your faith would be shaken again, right? And
That's
we all
absolutely
think
right.
it's gonna never happen to us, and it does.
It does. Yes, yes, it does. And you go through life and you think just because you're a Christian that everything is going to be just fine. And then something happens and all of a sudden the rug is jerked out from under you
You can't
and
believe
you
it. Yeah.
and you wonder, well, what do I do now? Where is God? Where did he
What the
go?
heck happened? Where did it go? What happened? Where was I at? And that's where we have to wake up and begin again in so
Yes,
many aspects.
yes.
Um, the feedback from your first book, so that we can know the kind of audience was really interested in that. Talk about when you had that book and what did they think of it?
I had a lot of really good feedback in that book. It was a small book, but I had so many people call me and tell me that they couldn't put it down, that they had to read it from beginning to end, and it really blessed their lives. That was the best thing I could hear. Any author wants to hear that. That says, I couldn't put your book down.
Yeah,
Well, this was a true story about this woman. And for them to be blessed because what she shared, that's what the whole book, it was a ministry tool to bring women or anybody actually who reads it understanding that just because we go through things in our life, God is always there. And
totally.
he, go ahead.
And totally. I was saying totally. Continue. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, one of the scriptures in the Bible that I believe is Romans 8:28, when God says that he will take what is he'll take something and turn it around for good. And that is in the Bible and in the messages whenever I'm doing any teaching for women, that just because we have messes, God can make a message out of those messes if we give them back to Him, if we don't hold on to them, if we let them go. But if we drag them around with us, they hold us back. We have to realize it's time to let go. It's time to go forward. It's time to give it to God and let Him have it and let Him do something beautiful with it. And God can do anything for anybody, not just women, men, anybody. If they want to let go and walk forward, He's there.
Because definitely you want to move forward. And I
Yeah,
think it's so important, Mary. I mean, we miss out on those things. We're like, excuse me, so important to not let go, to keep going,
yeah,
keep plugging away.
yeah.
I mean, your message is so important to everybody out there. And talk a little bit about, you said it's been a journey writing Wounded Sisters, why people should get ready for the book launch on March 17th, and tell us a little bit about why they should buy the book without giving it away. More about what the expectation after you read this will be.
Well, I'm hoping that anybody who picks this book up and reads it will not only learn that even when there's some pastors' wives in it, but even women of God go through hard times.
Yes.
And Christian women, sometimes people get the idea that if you're a Christian, nothing bad ever happens to you. Well, it does. And sometimes it's behind closed doors and you don't understand. But God is always there in the middle of it. And how God can take a person's life, even though they think there's no hope, but He can take a person's life and turn it around and lead them in a different direction and restore them if they learn to let go and forgive and walk away and trust God. It's not easy, but this
No.
book talks about several circumstances, not just one, several circumstances where a person has got to let go and let God and trust. So that's the biggest reason I wrote the book, was to let people know that God is there. Even in the midst of your worst times, God is always there. And if you're willing to lay it down and say, God, I'm sorry. I am so sorry for the way I acted or what I did. Please help me. And help me to forgive those who have hurt me, those people who have been such a thorn in my side.
Yeah, because if we don't, forget about it. I mean, that's so important. All
Yeah.
right, so Mary, your website is up. People can go check it out by going to Mary, and you'll spell it for me because I have to get used to that spelling. Go ahead. It's maryshearerecker.com, and Shearer is spelled.
Shearer.
All right, maryshearerecker.com. That's where you're going to see a lot of different things, blog posts coming out soon. Her social media accounts are coming out because Mary's new to all this, and that's why Media Giant Productions is working with her and trying to get her ready for this big book launch on March 17th. Appreciate it, Mary. Thanks again.